Hi, my name's Chris Scott and I'm here with Jerome Pernot. How are you, Jerome?
I'm very, very well. I had a lovely morning with you driving the estate of Chateau Leoube. Yeah, good.
Excellent. Yes, so we're in Provence in Chateau Leoube, which is a winery just on the coast in Provence in the region of Var.
Var, exactly, yeah. On the small village called Bormes-les-Mimosas, not far away from Toulon, Saint-Tropez, halfway.
Yeah.
Beautiful property, and as you saw, the vines 50 meters from the sea.
Yeah, no, they're lovely. What I want to talk today is maybe talk a wee bit about Chateau Leoube, but within the context to Provence.
Yeah. Sure.
And maybe talk a wee bit about some of the interesting things you're doing in your vineyard as well, and try and tie that into maybe how it reflects Provence's climate and the terroir here.
Terroir is very important, like any wine region, of course, yeah.
Exactly. So just really quickly, do you want to give us a quick overview of Chateau Leoube, but try and tie it in with maybe some of the history of Provence?
Yeah. So Provence, just to give you an idea, starts from, let's say, Saint-Raphaël, and so that's on the east coast. And we're going to go towards the west up to Aix-en-Provence. So big area of Côte de Provence.
The way I think about it is if you've sort of got a map of France and you come down the Rhone Valley, you're to the right of the Rhone Valley by the coast.
Yeah.
And to the left is Languedoc and
Exactly,
Roussillon, etc.
Yeah,
So
you're right. Yeah.
is that the way? But it doesn't go all the way across to Italy, does it, Provence?
No, it stops by Saint-Raphaël, or you can say Saint-Tropez, yeah.
Saint-Tropez. Is it Saint-Tropez that it stops? I thought it was went further through to Nice.
No, it won't go towards up to Nice. The biggest part will be really Saint-Raphaël, Saint-Raphaël, Aix-en-Provence. You will find a few vineyards towards Nice, but the big production will be really again Saint-Raphaël, Aix-en-Provence.
Yeah, that's Côte de Provence, isn't it, really?
It's all under Côte de Provence, and within Côte de Provence you have a small appellation like Bandol, for example, but it's all under the big AC Côte de Provence.
Okay, excellent. All right. Provence doesn't have, like Languedoc is quite divided up into lots of little appellations now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Provence hasn't quite been carved up as much.
No, you have Sainte-Victoire, Fréjus, Lalonde, Pierrefeu, Aix, Côte-du-Varois, Bandol. That's a palette.
So it's a handful, really, isn't
exactly,
it?
Yeah, very easy for the consumers.
Very easy for the consumer. Excellent. And what's Provence mainly famous for?
Rosé wine,
and that's what you guys do.
Which is produced everywhere in all appellations. The reason behind that is fairly easy to understand. The first vines planted in France with the Romans or the Greeks were actually around Marseille.
What? Sorry?
The first vines planted in France were in Provence.
Oh, okay.
Before Bordeaux, before Champagne, before Burgundy, that was in Provence. And the wine which was produced at this time by the Romans were actually clear wine. They were not deep red wine, they were more toward the rosé style. Yeah. And that's basically when everything has started with the rosé from Provence.
Okay. I suppose it's quite hot here, you know.
And nowadays, it's a perfect wine with the climate of Provence. 3,000 hours of sunshine a year. It's almost a quarter more than Paris or London. So lots of sun, heat right now. Today, it's pretty hot. Yeah. A glass of rosé. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, you don't want a big, heavy red wine in this sort of climate.
You want to drink not just one glass. You want to drink a bottle with a nice meal, and having a good time. And a rosé, it's perfect for that.
Okay.
I compare, rosé is the champagne of Provence, basically.
So it's quite warm here, and technically that makes it a Mediterranean climate.
Mediterranean climate, yeah, you're right.
Hot days,
hot day, lots of sunshine, lots of sunlight. Different temperature as well within the Mediterranean climate. We are right on the coast, so slightly cooler than when you are inland, because you have the sea breeze cooling down all the vines, for example, at night, but a little bit of wind as well, extra wind. So we are slightly cooler here than inland.
Yep, but also probably the key thing about Mediterranean climate is that the winters aren't particularly cold. Yeah. The summers are... Well, they are fairly hot here. I've been roasting while I've been down here. Okay, cool. Okay, and here in Chateau Leoube, we're actually in the Côte de Provence, aren't we?
In the Var region, as you mentioned.
Yeah. And how does is the Var region all of Côte de Provence, or?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're in the Var region, you can make Côte de Provence.
It's all under Côte de Provence, indeed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, and how long has wines been grown in Chateau Leoube?
I don't like to say forever, but for a long time. Chateau Leoube has a beautiful 15th century chateau. Mm-hmm. And the first vines planted were actually around the chateau at this time to protect the chateau from the forest fire.
Yeah, that's quite common in Mediterranean climates, isn't
Definitely,
it?
Definitely, yeah, because the vines will never burn completely. It will stop the forest fire compared to a pine trees forest. Everything, unfortunately, will burn, not with the vines. And nowadays, it's purely commercial. And so, vines have been planted at Leoube for a long time, early century.
15th century, quite a lot of time for the land to sort of be doing its thing. But we had a look around the vineyard, and you're actually sort of almost terraforming the vineyard now, aren't you? What's going on there?
We are working the vineyards with terraces, even though everything is pretty flat here. All the vines are not on slopes compared to, for example, Bandol. It's pretty flat, but even though we need to do some terraces, the reason behind that is, even though it's deep hot today, we could have a storm, coming up, so heavy rains.
About 2 days ago, it really poured down.
Yeah. So with the type of soil we have, which is mica schist, that's a very mineralitic kind of slate, a bit of sand, a bit of quartz, but clay as well.
Yeah.
The clay is very good to keep the moist into the ground, but as well, when it does rain, it can create almost a torrent, very heavy rain will damage the vineyards. You could have, a lake on the next morning inside your vineyard, or with the strength of the water, you could create a small torrent and really damage half of your vineyards overnight. So you need to create some terraces with a nice, gentle slope, not too heavy, gentle, to evacuate, to irrigate the water when it does rain, but to maintain a bit of moist inside.
If you make too much of a slope, you'll probably end up washing half your clay down the hill. So you don't want that, but you need something to let it drain away. I noticed when we came back from off the hill, looking down onto the vineyards, the actual soil had been cut up quite heavily. You were in a Land Rover, so bouncing around over it. You're a very smooth driver, given the terrain. But it was quite cut up by the water, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's just overnight. I mean, a couple of hours of rains yesterday,
Yeah. You're organic here in Chateau Leoube, but you say you don't use tractors. No, partly that could be organics, but I actually think it's because maybe the clay soil...
The type of the soil, exactly.
Yeah.
If it's like, yesterday, if we would have been in the vineyards with the tractors, we would have damaged a lot of the path and between each rows,
Yeah. So it almost makes sense. But I did notice there's no cover crops. Quite often people have a bit of cover crop because it helps stabilize the soils. But you guys don't have cover crops between the rows. It's all sort of exposed soil, isn't it?
Yeah, very much, yeah.
Do you know why that is?
Just to let the soil breathing naturally. It's quite important, because, it's kind of hot here. Yeah. So you need to... We don't touch the soil much. It needs to breathe naturally,
Okay. But given the climate and the rain, let's talk about that rain as well, because you were saying that the weather here is in 3 days. It rains heavily, so there's quite a risk. Well, normally you'd expect with heavy rain, there's a risk of molds and mildews, but you don't seem to have...
We are fortunate again.
Yeah.
2 minutes ago, I mentioned the location. We are right on the coast next to the sea, the Med Sea. And we have always a little bit of breeze, what we call the Mistral. And what happens when it does rain, if you have too much moist on the leaf after the rain, you could have development of the mildew.
Yep.
To avoid the mildew, you need to dry your vines. And because of this natural wind, obviously. You've been this morning, everything was dry off. Yeah. No humidity at all on the leaf. Perfect.
So the mistral comes down the Rhone Valley, doesn't it? And dries out everything.
Yeah, exactly. It could be just the sea breeze, as well, overnight and enough to dry the leaf, yeah.
You did say that normally if you do get a big thunderstorm that softens out, you often find the next couple of days you get a bit of mistral coming. So it's almost like that weather's
very well balanced.
Related exactly. Cool. Okay, let's talk a wee bit about the grape varieties you're growing here.
So here are Côte de Provence overall, mainly Grenache and Cinsault. We're talking about rosé and red wine, so black grapes.
Yeah, because that's a nice blend, isn't it? Grenache and Cinsault. They often use.
You've tried some this morning, very juicy.
Surprisingly fresh. Yeah. I was expecting, particularly because we'll talk next week about malolactic fermentation. But you do malolactic fermentation, so I was expecting the wines to be a lot heavier than they were, but they're still lovely, light, arrogant.
Light, yeah. Because of the soil as well, lots of minerality coming from the soil, very important. So Grenache, Cinsault, the two main one, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Mourvèdre. That's the main one. And for the white wine, Rolle, or we can call it Vermentino if you wish.
So Rolle and Vermentino, the same grape.
Yeah. Uni Blanc and Sémillon.
Sémillon. Because is Sémillon a permitted grape down here?
That's all permitted grapes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and we won't talk about your Cabernet Franc, which my wife is going to buy an expensive bottle of later on, but which is not permitted. Actually, that is...
It is permitted, but we cannot call it Côte de Provence because the Cabernet Franc is not allowed in the appellation Côte de Provence. So you can plant anything you want. That's authorized, but without the appellation Côte de Provence.
Okay, actually that raises an interesting point because you've called it a Vin de France in the end, which allows technically blending from all over France. You could have some Cabernet Franc from the Loire Valley blended in with yours. Not that I presume you don't.
No.
We talked about the grape varieties. I noticed when we were in there, the trellising method was because a lot of people talk about goblet, because they like to say, or goblet. It's easy for me to say. But you guys aren't doing that. What's your trellising method here?
So double cordon royal. So all the vines are trained on 2 wires. So you've got the main plant, then you've got 2 branches going on each side.
Yep. And they're old vines. It's like got woody material. It's not a cane from last year's growth. It's a proper old bit of woodiness.
Yeah, they're very true. Well spotted. And then every year you will have another 2 branches going up.
2 canes, yep.
2 canes, and that one will be new every year. Yeah.
Okay, and then the grapes again grow on the bottom near where the canes come out.
Yes, not on the high. They need a bit of shade. Yeah.
Yeah, so you keep them quite low. Is that to provide shade?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And your rows were reasonably close together. Do you use shading from the row beside it, or is it just shading from the vegetative growth above it?
Just above it, yeah.
Okay, so
because in between each rows we have 2 meters, so you won't be able to get any shades from the other rows. It's really from the vegetation above the grapes, yeah.
Okay, and the other thing I noticed when we were walking through is there was a load of what looked like quite nice grapes lying on the ground.
Yes.
That's
what we called the green harvest. In Côte de Provence, we could produce 55 hectoliters of juice per hectare. That's a rule. You need to stick to it. But to concentrate your grape juice, you need to remove some grapes, basically. So at Leoube, we go below 38 compared to 55, just to have an extra concentration of aromas into the grapes. So what we do, you've seen it, we cut some grapes not yet fully ripe, and we don't use them at all, just laying on the ground.
Some of them look like they'd gone through veraison or getting close to veraison where the colour changes from green to red.
Yeah.
Do you do it normally, because it's green harvest, you'd expect it to be done before veraison?
It could be done at different stage. You need to go every single day in your vineyards to check what's going on, and then you decide. Normally you do it with, as you said, green grapes, but you can do it a little bit later on when you notice you have maybe too many grapes on each plant.
Okay. And the last thing is, I was talking to you earlier, and I'm staying in Saint-Tropez at the moment. I went for a mountain bike ride up into the hills, try and get fit. And as I was riding up there, I saw these guys in these bright Viz orange jackets.
You're right in a season, yes. Hunting season.
Yeah, and they all had shotguns. And I tell you what, when you're riding a mountain bike up the hill and you see these rows of guys with shotguns,
don't miss your shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. Be careful, mate. What's going on
there?
So
we have a little bit of a pest with those wild boar. Big colonization in this area. So that's what you've seen yesterday. We need to have some hunt and shoot them to regulate them, because they can do a bit of damage. They're thirsty. They love the grapes.
I know. I've heard they really like grapes. Yeah. In fact, I did an interview with a guy called Monty Walden a while ago. He did a program called Chateau Monty. I think he was down this way making wines. Yeah. And they had a real problem hunting boars because they love the grapes.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Yeah, is it a real problem here? Or
it is. It can really be. If you don't, unfortunately, hunt them, they can damage a lot your vineyards. Yeah.
Is there any other pests or problems you have down here?
No.
Just boars?
Boars, yeah.
Lovely.
Birds don't do any damage. A couple of rabbits, nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
A couple of deers, nothing to worry. No, wild boar.
Is the one.
That's the one.
Okay, and that'll be why the sausages are so good, is it? Wild boar, bit of a problem, but you still managed to make some pretty nice wines. We tried a range of your wines earlier, yes. And it was 2 whites. No, one white, 2 reds and 2 rosés.
Yeah.
And do you want to just give us a quick overview of what your rosés are like, and maybe if they're typical of Provence? Obviously, some of the things I've drunk a lot of cheap Provence rosé while I've been here.
It's give you a bit of headache.
Maybe, but not that much. But I did notice that the length of your wines is quite long. Your wines had a really nice long length to them, whereas a lot of the cheaper rosés I've been glugging have gone straight away, and then you have your next glass. So, do you just give us a quick overview of your wines and what you're making and why?
Yeah, so if we start with the rosé, 2 rosés, the first one, the Rosé de Leoube, we've tried the 2013, and then we've tried the Secret of Leoube, 2013 as well.
And they're both grape varieties of Grenache Cinsault?
Grenache Cinsault base. The first one, so the Rosé de Leoube will be Grenache Cinsault, 40% of each. Syrah Mourvèdre, 10% of each. That should do the 100%.
Yeah.
Very much toward the red fruits on the nose, very clean, elegant. And when you drink them, you keep the red fruit, a bit of wild strawberry, but as well a hint of exotic fruits, such as pineapple, but as well more local peach, very, very well balanced.
I could definitely taste some of the fruitiness. I found it quite hard to unpick the individual flavors, but there was what you're saying is about right. But I sometimes you get wines that are just absolutely that it smells of pineapple, whereas yours were.
Because they're very well balanced,
they're all more integrated, the flavors.
Exactly, to drink all day long, that's...
But they're 13% alcohol, so pretty tough to drink all day long.
No, but as well important with rosé all day long, but all year round. That's very important. We do the style of rosé at Chateau Leoube to be drinking on its own, but with food as well, but all year round. Very important to understand that. You drink white wine all year round, rosé can be drinking all year round.
A lot of people think of rosé more as a summer drink, don't they?
Not anymore. With the style of wine we are making, definitely. And the Secret of Leoube, so different blend such as Grenache and Cinsault again, but 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. And those 3 grapes will be much older vines compared to the first one. The first one, the average age of the vines will be 25 years. For the Secret of Leoube, 35 to 60 years old vines.
Do the French have a particular name for old vines?
Yeah, vieille vigne.
You see that on bottles sometimes, don't you? Old vines.
It's a bit of marketing tool.
There's no
vieille vigne, it must be good.
Is it that sometimes some people say that the wines get more concentrated?
Which is true. That's why we are making the Secret very small production, because we don't have a lot of very old vines. And the difference between the two, not one is better than the other, just two different styles. The secret will be a little bit more lively, thanks to the Cabernet, but as well more citrus aromas compared to the first one, which allow this wine to be drinking with other dishes such as loin of lamb, nice pink loin of lamb, veal chop as well, perfect to go with it.
Perfect. And then you've got a couple of reds.
3 reds, exactly, yeah. The first one we've tried was the 2011 Rouge de Leoube, made with 60% Syrah, bit of Grenache, bit of Cinsault. Very elegant to be drinking on its own or with red meat. The second one we have tried was the 4 de Leoube 2010. A blend of 4 grapes, Grenache, Cinsault, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon. A bit more earthy, but more leathery, more masculine. Perfect with English stew.
That was the one I actually thought had more of a flavour of wild fermentation.
Yeah.
And a wee bit of Brettanomyces in there as well, which is quite... It was nice complexing factor. Some people get a bit uptight about it, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah. And the difference as well with the red at Leoube and the rosé, the reds will start in stainless steel, but will finish aging in big cask.
Yeah.
Not to give any wood flavor, but to make the wine softer, rounder, elegant.
Yeah,
compared to the rosé, 100% stainless steel.
Yeah, because a lot of people use barriques to get those sort of vanilla coconut flavors into the wine, whereas your bigger, older cask are more for oxidative aging, isn't it?
Exactly.
It just softens the wine out.
Very
lovely.
Yeah. And they don't, stay there for a long time, 9 to 12 months maximum. And to clean our palate, we had a lovely white 2013, a blend of Roll, Sémillon, Uni-Blanc. Dead easy to drink, very elegant, refreshing, crisp.
Roll's a great variety I don't hear a lot of before. Sémillon, you see it in Bordeaux a lot.
A lot, yeah.
And also in a lot of dessert wines as well, botrytis wines,
of course,
dessert wines.
Perfect, yeah.
And Uni Blanc, I know mainly for its fame for being a high-cropping, cheap wine they use for making brandy out of, or Trebbiano in Italy. But it tastes quite nice, quite fresh as well. It had a nice freshness to it, which is something I don't always think about hot climate white wines. I always think of them being a bit more
heavier,
yeah.
Maybe a bit more sugar as well.
Yeah, but Roll's a great variety I don't see a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, typical from Provence. We can call it as well Vermentino, so you will see a lot, obviously, in Italy. But that's the 3 grapes, which blended together works very, very well.
We're going to talk later on with Frederick, who's in the winemaking team. He's going to help us talk a wee bit more about the rosé wine production. But before we get on to that, I wanted to just check on one region, which is probably the most famous appellation in the region. You've got Côte de Provence, but you've got Bandol.
Yeah, I mentioned it a couple of times before, Bandol. We were not far away from Bandol. Bandol, it's between here and Marseille, between here and Cassis. So Côte de Provence overall, it's 20,000 hectares of vines. Bandol will represent only 1,500 hectares, so a very small area. Right on the coast as well. The difference between us and Bandol, the type of soil, but as well the slope. Here you saw we are pretty much flat.
Yeah.
Bandol will be much steeper, so different exposure to the sun.
South facing, isn't it?
Exactly. Full. Yeah.
They're mainly famous for their red wine production from Mourvèdre as well. And Mourvèdre is a great variety that does struggle to ripen sometimes. You need a hot climate.
That's it. Perfect. Facing south, steep slope. Perfect for Mourvèdre.
Yeah, so are they normally 100% Mourvèdre or just Mourvèdre dominated?
It's dominating, yeah. In Provence, you tend to always blend your wines.
All right, then. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Thank you very much. And as you did this morning, anybody can come and visit Chateau Leoube. We have this beautiful tasting room. You can test all the wine all year round. Come and see us.
Very nice. Cheers very much.
Thank you so much.